There we are. Here we are. Okay, so as we're letting everybody join in, which takes a few minutes for everyone. And if you're watching this on recording, sorry, but we're going to chat for a few minutes. We got lots to talk about today. Okay, first of all, Liz, we're going to get to you in a second because we want to hear about the path of totality. So we've got to hear about that. So give us a minute to kind of brag for a minute about Warwick's. Share, yeah. I mean, I'm one of those like weirdos, and I went and got myself the giant Stanley.
Oh, you did. Just like my daughter, she has one.
I just couldn't help myself. Swear to God, I feel like that meme that goes around like it's like a big giant trash can that you're carrying around. Oh my God, this thing's gigantic, but I love it. But cheers, everybody. Warwick's was awarded the PW Publishers Weekly 2024 Bookstore of the Year. And for those of you that aren't in the industry, this is a really big deal in the industry to be named this. So we are beyond excited about it. It's really something. So,
and what surprised me is that it hadn't happened before now. I mean,
it's 128 years.
128 years.
That's definitely how long this award has been given out.
It's sort of like the Red Sox having to wait for years and years.
Yeah, that's right.
In the World Series, so
that much more satisfying.
That's
Small
right.
market, small market
sweeter.
bookstores, you know.
But that's what I kind of was cracking up at, though, because when they just say, it's been around for 120, and I just was like, oh my God, you didn't have to say that we just won this for the first time. 128.
Warwick doesn't look a day over
150. Yeah, 110. 105.
And we need to give a shout out to Patricia Nelson, who's on this series periodically. Yep. She won Rep of the Year, and as you know, she's a marvel. She's brilliant, and
that's another huge honor. Yeah, I was going to mention, because she is, I mean, just a gem. She is absolutely a gem.
But also a shout out to Andrea, who was a finalist for that Rep of the Year.
Yep.
So,
thank you.
Yeah, it's really great to see both of you in the news.
Yes. Yeah. So it was a stellar weekend for Warwick's and our reps, and because when you think about it, it was the two West Coast reps too. I mean, so yeah. So we're rocking it.
We love that.
Well,
okay, so
we work. Well, we do live in this as well, but we work in an amazing industry. Okay. Like a lot of people, we have good friends everywhere. We've known them for years. They're like family. And so we're all excited for each other when somebody wins an award, so
it's very cool. It's cool. It's awesome to be recognized. It really is. It's awesome to be, because there are a lot of very good bookstores out there and reps, and to be singled out and named was really something. So we thoroughly are appreciating it very much. But Liz, give us a quick, we could talk about it after too a little bit, but for those who are watching, because we know that we've been talking about you doing the Path of Totality. Was it awesome?
Well, first, just let me say congratulations. That is just so exciting. You work so hard. You do so much, and I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
I just learned this. I guess it was announced this weekend, today?
Yeah. Friday, I think.
Friday, I think.
How'd I miss it? Must have been about the LA Times Book Festival.
Must have been the book festival.
So, yeah, it was an incredible experience. I mean, we traveled all the way to Texas to see the eclipse, and the weather report was cloudy all day, and we were totally, we were kind of nervous and thinking it wasn't going to happen. And we were in Austin, but we had sussed out that Killeen, Texas, which I think Fort Hood is there, was going to be the best place to go. But again, it was like drizzly and cloudy, and we didn't want to go to a big crowded event. We didn't want to be stuck in traffic. And so we just found this field and had cheese and wine and just waited to see what would happen. And it happened. We were out there and the clouds parted. The temperature dropped. It didn't get pitch black, but it was eerie because kind of reminds you of how much we need the sun, you know, in a very physical way.
Right.
What would happen if we did not have that sun? So that was so cool. So I'll show you a picture because one of the hotel guests had a high-powered, intense, if you can let me share my
I think
screen.
Amanda has got to do that. I think she took.
And so we asked him if we could see his pictures, but I can't give him photo credit because we didn't ask him his name. Anyway.
Amanda, did you give her credit? Did you give her a screen share?
Thought I had.
Okay, well, let me try again because it is dramatic. Let me see now. I can't get back to Zoom. How weird. Are you there?
Yep, we're here.
Oh, there you are. Okay, so let me see something.
Well, the other thing while you're pulling that picture up, can you imagine being like, I don't know, 1500s, 1300s and having an eclipse happen?
Oh my God,
Mm,
look
cool.
at that.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
That's a good
Look at
shot.
those
Look at
flames.
look at the flames.
That's cool.
That's a great shot. Your watcher definitely had a serious rig for sure.
Oh yeah. It looked like a high-powered telescope, but it was a camera.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. I know, we couldn't believe it. It was
Yeah.
such a great experience. And also
Oh,
Austin is really cool. I'd never been to Austin, so live music, and it was a super fun trip. But yeah, this was once in a lifetime because, you know, but now it almost makes us want to be eclipse chasers. Like we could see why that would
be addicting.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people do the Grateful Dead, some people do eclipses.
Yeah. Or Bruce.
Or
Yeah,
Bruce.
Some
I'm
people
doing
do
Bruce.
Some
Right,
people
but
do
I
Bruce.
but I've already looked up where the next one of these is going to be, and I think it's northern Spain in a
Yes,
couple of
I want to
years.
go.
So I am
Well, that's
thinking
my
of it.
people.
I know, Julie, we'll have to talk about
We
your
might have to talk about this. All right, we
It's
better get
easy.
back to
I think we
talking
should
books.
just
Okay.
go. I think we should do a trip, but
Here we go.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
planning it now.
should all go.
All right. Yeah,
love
I
that.
just think about those poor people that like something like this happened like in the 1300s or something, and them standing out in the fields going, "The
The world's ending.
the world's ending." All right,
Yes.
Liz, you're first, so you can keep your screen back up again.
Oh, okay. So wait, I have to go back and share
And
again.
we survived the festival, LA Times Festival of Books. It was fantastic.
It was
I know.
so great.
That's always a good day.
It
I
was
had,
really-
yeah, it was really good. Okay, so my first book to talk about is so I want to say Happy Earth Day, but
Yeah.
I don't feel like the earth is necessarily happy with us. But Happy Earth Day. We need to just keep our eyes on the prize. A healthy planet is the ultimate goal, obviously. So understanding imperiled earth can really help. This was just published in March from Smithsonian. That's a name we can all trust. It's written by anthropologist Todd J. Brahe. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He was at San Diego State University teaching for about a decade, but now he's director of the University of Oregon's Museum of Natural and Cultural History, where my daughter goes. So this book takes a really unique angle, saying that archaeology and history can really address climate change, biodiversity loss, deforestation, overfishing, and all the other threats, you know, we hear about in the news. So I think this review by archaeologist and professor Virginia Butler says it best, better than I. Understanding Imperiled Earth is an important book written to persuade the general reader that historical perspectives matter, that history can help us find solutions to our current environmental crises. To make his case, Brahe provides an overview of historical ecology and its links to science and the humanities. Then he goes deeper with several broadly appealing examples: the trees of Notre Dame, Hawaiian birds, and tuna fisheries. Although Brahe honestly lays out the challenges we face, this is not a book of doom and gloom. Brahe implores readers to set aside the hand-wringing, and he pushes us to roll up our sleeves and get to work, particularly drawing on insights from the past. So it also includes 20 black and white images. It's laid out really well, and I particularly love the page count. 208 pages. So this is easily digestible. And think you have some copies of this in the store, Julie.
Okay.
So I highly recommend this book.
Excellent. And that's true. That size is really good because it doesn't, here, I don't think I can take you off screen share.
I can.
Okay.
Sharing.
What I love is that doesn't intimidate people, but they can get the message.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
sometimes those are like those palatable things that's just like, okay,
and it breaks up the text with these not diagrams, illustrations. So I just feel like any reader that wants to help and be active will really
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You know, I think that the package is really great too. And speaking of old friends, my dear friend Matt Litz, who has worked at Smithsonian for years, used to work for me at Tower Books and Tower Records back in the day in Washington, D.C. And it's just nice to see what that program has done. Like just to come out of the sort of stuffy museum sensibility into a way more like trade bookstore friendly publishing program. So it's cool that you have that in your bag.
I love Tower Books. That's throwing back there, Andrea.
I'm throwing it down. It's back in the day.
Throwing it back, man. It's not Throwback Thursday. It's Throwback like day.
Yeah, that was like 1996, 94, 95, 96 is when I worked with him. Whew.
Love it. Whew. Okay, real quick here. Beth Doherty was in Dallas for the Path of Totality too, and she's talking about going to Spain. So that we might have to do like a tea time thing,
a tea time meetup
in Spain for the next total eclipse. I love it. Anyways, okay, Gabe, I know you're chomping to talk about the book.
What?
Let's go. Let's go, Gabe.
It's me already.
It's you, baby.
Good God Almighty. All right, so I am going to talk about a book that is just out. It's a series. Let me get to you guys. Sorry, had a lot of drama today. And Assassin 18. So Assassin 18 is the second book in the series, and Warwick's did very well with the first book, which is why I'm talking about this one. John Brownlow, Assassin. So 17 was the first book, Last Man Standing. So 17 is a little, you don't have to read them in order necessarily because they stand alone, but 17 is essentially the last option. He's like the final option. When diplomacy fails, when nothing's going right for the government, they bring in the assassin and he takes care of the problem. Let's say there's a certain politician who's making waves, who's going to be bad for the country. They bring in this guy, Agent 17, and he is a silent assassin. So in 17, he's charged with having the assassin. And what happens is the previous assassin is assassinated by the heir. So they don't leave any loose ends. So 17's objective is to kill Assassin 16. And in this book, we find Assassin 18 is being hunted down by somebody, and somebody puts a contract out on him. And the person who's chosen is this young homeless girl who's been abandoned, has got all kinds of trauma, Miriel, and she misses, and he has to take care of Miriel, and super fast-paced, adrenaline-fueled narratives. These things are really, really fun. The first book won like the Ian Fleming Steel Dagger Award in the UK. So we're really excited to have the second book out. It's a great character. I'm like, what's going to happen with 19, or is it going to be 18 plus? So I'm totally curious to see what happens next. So I got a pretty light list today of reading. It's just fun thrill ride. So that's a thrill ride. Like I said, really fast paced. I don't even know why it's not a movie yet. It's just totally, in the old days, maybe like a Pierce Brosnan or somebody. Very action packed and a lot of fun. So a great character, continuing. He's proven himself as a really good writer. So we're excited. I'm excited.
I love it. Hey, you know what? We need those fast-paced ones. Those are fun.
Books
You
that
know
feel
what?
like
I mean-
movies are great. That
Yeah.
just move.
Just move very cinematographic and yeah, I mean we grew up reading. I think everybody here probably grew up reading you read for fun, you know. I read
Yeah.
for work now, but I grew up reading for fun, and that's still reading's primary function. Get me away from stuff, whether it be
Exactly.
a good
Yeah.
science book like
Like Liz.
book sounds
Yeah.
like a lot of fun. Nice 200 small short.
Fall short and then go
Yeah.
and then go take your mind away. All right, Andrea. Excuse me.
I'm very excited to talk about this book, The Beach Boys, by the Beach Boys. This is, believe it or not, the first official compendium that they approved, the band approved. You know, obviously they care about their image and their reputation, but Genesis Publications was the publisher that they went with, and it makes a lot of sense. They did a Bob Marley book. They've done Jimmy Page, Chrissy Hines, like paintings. They just did a Bruce Lee book, and they know how to do it. This is a $65 hardcover, paper over boards, a big boy, and it is absolutely stunning. There's tons of iconic images, but then a lot of they dug up some rare negatives to publish here as well that no one's seen. I just, come on. I mean, you know, they're an iconic Southern California band, one of the great American bands, one of the great bands of all time. You know, their impeccable harmonies, the strong songwriting, and the technical innovations at the time, just, you know, set them apart. And this is just like a great project. There's here, I'm gonna get out of sharing. Look at this book.
That's great.
Those photos are incredible.
Yeah,
are great.
it's
Just the
just
size
this
of it
book
is
is
wild.
like very special, and you know, I defy any viewers out there to say that they don't know at least one person who's a Beach Boys obsessional. And you probably know some completists out there who need this book.
Yeah.
And you know, the thing that I really like about this book too is it has a whole bunch of contributors that, you know, the who's who of people who worked with them and other people in the business. Lindsey Buckingham, Eric Clapton, Elvis Costello, Bob Dylan, Bobby Gillespie, the Jesus and Mary Chain. That's an interesting one. Jim Kerr, Roger McGuinn, Jimmy Page, Pete Townsend, Rufus Wainwright, and many, many more luminaries. And you know, like music professorial types. So very exciting. And that's a $65 volume and well worth it. I think.
Oh yeah.
It
That could be easily $150 book.
Yeah, because of the collector's value.
Yeah.
And so I think this book, you know, is going to sell for a long time, but now's the time to strike because, you know, this publisher is from England, and we don't always get the stock that we want when they ship it, and it's a one shot. So
Right. It
order
looks
now.
like a one shot.
It looks like a
Yep.
one shot.
Yep,
Awesome.
so order it now.
Awesome. I love the look of that. That's a great gift book, but like you said, maybe one of those gifted to yourself kind of books.
Yeah, it's an exciting project. I'm really happy that we get to talk about this publisher in their books. So
Awesome.
And remind
right, Tom.
me, oh, sorry. Remind me when it's on sale. I definitely want to get that. That looks so
this is out. It was out April 2nd, and
April 2nd.
I just wanted to, you know, give it a little time. So
Love it.
Mhm.
Okay, Tom.
Well, I have a book that is not a one shot. It will be reprinted and reprinted and reprinted.
Oh.
Emily Henry's Funny Story, out tomorrow. So I'm just gonna read the description. This will give you, I mean, it's an Emily Henry book, but
Right.
children's librarian Daphne Vincent moves to a small lakeside Michigan town with her fiance Peter. But instead of them starting their new life together, Peter dumps her just months before the wedding for his childhood best friend, which is how Daphne winds up sharing an apartment with the only person who could possibly understand her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex, Miles Novak. It's actually a very funny story. So that's the plot. I mean, Emily is a master of this exact thing. And so last year we published Happy Place, her first hardcover, blew it up. It was #1 bestseller.
Wow.
This is gonna be, I'm just getting the feel from all the stuff that she's doing and all the early buzz. This is gonna be bigger than last. She's just getting bigger with each book. This is gonna be one of our biggest books of the year. I am absolutely sure. She was on Good Morning America this morning. She'll be on the Today Show later this week. Some stores around the country are having midnight release parties, which is
my God, back to the midnight.
I know, that's another sign that something big is brewing
Big
here.
time.
I love that. Hey, Dee said she did a pre-order for this. She says her summer starts with Emily Henry.
Excellent. That's awesome. So that's really all I need to say. Get it tomorrow or, anytime this summer. Emily Henry's funny story. It's just so, and I think of her as a tea time. She was born in tea time. And
right.
So I especially love her for that because it was one of the very earliest books I talked about.
Yeah, no, it really was. And so she's been, God, we've been doing this for over 4 years, you guys.
A child of the pandemic.
A child of the pandemic.
This is her 5th novel.
Wow. Yeah, no, and I love the midnight release parties. I
know
mean, those old Harry Potter parties, those were fun.
I know. We don't get to do them that
times.
often, so it's fun when we can.
Maybe we should just pick somebody and make them, and it's just we're gonna do midnight release parties.
I love that. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, Julia. Before you talk,
one question though: do I have to stay up till midnight?
Oh, you're gonna be up till 2 in the morning.
Okay.
Midnight's when it starts. They start at midnight
time. Okay. So, Julia, before you get to talk about your book, I have to talk about this. Okay, everybody. I know Julia talked about it. I know it's a big, thick book. Honest to God, you got to read this book. It's so good. Adam Rapp is a fantastic writer. And okay, it feeds me with my dark stuff that I love. Okay, because we got to go right there with the serial killer. But you know what he's brilliant at? He never really goes into any details about any of the stuff that actually happened. And that's even creepier, I think. Because he just alludes to this stuff and you're just going, oh, damn. But it's really, it's really, truly the story. Truly, it's more about this family, the 60 years of this family and this Catholic family. It's so good. I've been talking about it to everybody at work. So if you haven't already bought it, but if you didn't listen to Julia, listen to me.
And you know what? Also, that is just a sign of that kind of restraint and artistry where you don't have to go into the gory details. It's just a sign of a master writer. And that guy has been working at it and crafting his skills for a while. And it's great to see that he's getting so much attention right now.
Yeah, I just wanted this book to do so because it's just so good. All right. Okay, Julie.
Thank you. I'm so glad you like it.
I hijacked a little time. We're taking way too long here today. We'll try and get through this.
Okay. I'm quick. You know me.
I know.
So my first book is by a woman you may have heard of. This is a children's picture book. It's called Waiting in the Wings by Julie Andrews. Yes, that Julie Andrews and her daughter, Emma Walton Hamilton. This is a very sweet, cute kids book. That's actually based on Julie Andrews' daughter, Emma Walton Hamilton, and her husband own a theater in upstate New York. And this little gaggle of ducks had a family behind their theater, and this is they made this book about it. So it's got all this great illustrations, these sort of showy theater stuff, and then this little gaggle. It's a story about these gaggle of ducks that lives behind this theater. Julie and her daughter were on oh gosh, I think Good Morning America this morning, but I'm sorry, I forget exactly what morning show they were on. They were on one of them this morning talking about this, and it's just a delightful picture book. So if you have a kid to buy for, if you have someone to read these kinds of things to, this is a great one to go with.
And you can't go wrong with Julie Andrews. Just saying.
Right.
I mean, she's
The
just
centerpiece of any great childhood.
exactly. I mean, who does? I mean, for my 60th birthday, my kids took me to the live singing of Sound of Music at the Hollywood Bowl. So come on.
I thought you were still like, that was upcoming your 60th. What are you talking about?
It's like
I thought so too, Andrea.
behind me, quite a few behind me,
Am
actually.
I the only one who keeps it 100, Jules? Look at these sycophants.
I would be one of these. I'm just like they're weekend and burning me.
Yeah, she's a national treasure.
She really is. She's amazing. Okay, Liz.
I love that. Ducks. Okay, so I am also going to talk. I think that this is a national treasure too. And that is that we have Amy Tan and the Backyard Bird Chronicles. And I know you're going to have her May 22nd at the theater. So that's going to be a lucky thing. I love that photo of her. So this is on sale tomorrow. It grew out of Amy in 2016, just being sort of overwhelmed by the state of the world and really in search of, some tranquility. So she turned to the natural world as close as her own backyard and started really honing in on the birds that visited her yard. So it began as this attempt to find solace, but it turned into something far greater. And also, did I already say this? Like kind of an Instagram movement for her and other birders. So she illustrates this herself, and she writes in intricate detail about the birds that are in her yard. And it kind of is reminding me, when I think about it, way back, the Edwardian Diary of a Country Girl. Do you remember that? Like those illustrations and just the details. It's so beautiful. And David Allen Sibley writes in his foreword, the drawings and essays in this book do a lot more than just describe the birds. They carry a sense of discovery through observation, and drawing suggest the layers of patterns in the natural world and emphasize a deep personal connection between the watcher and the watched. The birds that inhabit Amy Tan's backyard seem a lot like the characters in her novels, because she's obviously bringing her own flair to the writing. So it seems like it'd be a perfect Mother's Day gift, a perfect gift for oneself or another. So I hope you have a great event. I
think it's going to be an amazing event. And the illustrations on this, somebody showed us an illustration. You want to stop screen share?
Yep.
Somebody showed us some of the illustrations before we broke into the book. They're incredible. Her illustrations are absolutely amazing. So
who knew? I didn't know that Amy Tan
could do that.
Master illustrator.
Damn it, Amy. You have to be that talented.
Stop it already.
Yeah. Knock it off, lady. Even if you can't make it to the event, grab one of these books, because it's a great gift for anybody, because these illustrations are unbelievable. So okay, Gabe.
All right, I'm going to take you to the new Ann Hillerman.
Oh, another fun one. Well, another fast-paced page.
Another fast-page turner. And I mean, Hillerman is kind of in my DNA. When I came on to Harper, we were just publishing Skinwalkers, which was the book that broke Tony out from being this regional writer that used to sell, 5, 7, 9,000 copies of his books. He was in print for a long time selling dribs and drabs, and then he just went crazy in '87. And I was honored to be when he jumped on the list at number 2. We were in Tucson in 115-degree weather at a middle of the day signing, and I got to put him on the phone with his editor, telling him, you jumped on number 2 on the New York Times bestseller list. So I go a long way with the Hillermans. I met Anne a long time ago when she was really young. and I was really young. And I am just pleased as punch that she took over this series, because she does a really well. Pleased as punch. I'm so hokey. She is.
Dang, damn it.
I'm way cooler than that. She's a bit as much. I love Tony. She's a stronger writer than Tony, and she took the world of Tony Hillerman and embraced it and grew it into her own books. So she's one of her primary. She keeps Joe Leaphorn continues to be one of the main characters. He's now a private detective. He's off the force. And Manuelito, Benny Manuelito is the young woman who Joe Leaphorn brought up in his footsteps, and she is a really strong character. So a lot of the view that Anne presents is this woman's perspective, which Tony was a sweetheart, but he wrote around the women mostly. And here we get to see the women's perspective on a lot of the books. This book particularly, I think, will stand out. Her sales were really big out of the gate, and she was an instant bestseller. She continues to be. And I kind of feel like a cheat presenting her, but I have to, because we go back and she does a really good book, and they're a little deeper than some Tony's earlier books, and she deals with other themes. In this book in particular, she's dealing with Joe is a private detective, and he is dealing with a young woman who was raised by white parents, and she claims she is Navajo. And she's got a picture of allegedly her in a young Navajo as a baby in a Navajo blanket surrounded by a family. So there's this mystery of who her parents are. And in the meantime, Manuelito, the young policewoman, has got her own thing dealing with a farmer and rancher whose sheep are getting killed by wild dogs. And then there's all the backstories that go of the culture, etc. Navajo, Zuni. Are all presented here very respectfully. So I'm always happy to present a new world, and I'm glad I can get in the car and drive those long distances that she still does with the characters as they're having these conversations, as they're driving 120 miles to the next stop in the middle of the desert or Four Corners or something. So just a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, and I think even though everybody knows it, I think it's good to talk about the, classic authors that are out there, because I think that we're all about hot and new, but it's just like, there's just that good comfort zone with
So many good,
especially when they're as good as she is, and
exactly
the consistency of that series.
And we may have people that don't know. I mean, there's a possibility it's like, you never know. If you haven't heard, I'll quote Ann Patchett, if you haven't heard of it, it's new to you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love it. All right, Andrea.
I am excited to know that Anne Hillerman is a very strong writer to continue that series. That's excellent. My grandmother, whose house I am like beaming in to you from, loved his books. They were all around the house when I was younger. So it's cool.
Cool.
My Father's House, Joseph O'Connor. I presented this in hardcover to you all, and thanks for coming in droves to Warwick's to pick this up. There's a nice big stack of the trade paper edition, 1895, and that's out tomorrow. And this is a World War II story set in occupied Rome. An Irish priest who is the one of the like he's a resistance fighter working in Vatican City, and he's helping like refugees and Jews and allied fighters who are behind the lines try to get into Vatican City to find refuge, and then he helps smuggle them out to keep them safe. There's a dastardly Nazi captain who's running the city with an iron fist, and the priest and the captain are there's a lot of tension between them. They are good foils to each other. And you really just can't help but loathing the Nazi captain for everything he does in his official capacity, but also in his private life. And these everybody, all of the characters that come together in this network, private citizens from all walks of life to help people get out of the city to escape the Nazi scourge, are very well written. This book, I really think that this should be made into a limited series. It just has
for sure.
all of the hallmarks of a great series like that. But until then, this is your summer beach read, your summer mountain cabin read. It's out now, like I said, and it's perfect for book groups as well. So there you go.
Really good book
Oh,
group. In fact,
forgot
Dee's
to
on
say-
here. She says it's really a winner. I mean, it
Yeah.
really is. It really is
is.
a good one.
And I forgot to say that this is from Europa Publishing. So
And we love Europa. I love their books. In fact, Andrew, I have to ask you about one after we're done. It's not out yet. No, that's that one is top notch. It's absolutely a top notch book, no question. Okay, Tom.
Okay. So I look to Riverhead among all of my publishers for debuts for a lot of things, but debuts especially. Well, and actually it's a debut to me, so it's new to me. It's new to Riverhead, so we kind of I feel like okay, we're starting here. So this Irish writer, the book is called The
I've been looking for that.
Oh, I'll get you a copy.
Yeah.
I'm not, the Irish name. I think it's just Keelan Hughes. Anybody know that spelling?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll go with Keelan.
We're going with that. I'm going.
Yeah. So this is her third novel, but it's terrific. So it's a novel about sisters. They're the Flattery sisters, and there's a chef, a philosopher, a political scientist. They're all in their 30s, and a geologist. The eldest is the geologist. They all were thrust into adulthood prematurely because their parents died when they were very young. And they're all very successful trying to make their way in the world. And then the geologist sister, the eldest, who's, she's dealing with, she's haunted by what's happening to our world, what our future looks like. And she disappears. So then the other sisters come together and try to figure out what's going on. It's just a terrific novel about Ireland, and sisters especially. Very ambitious in its way. It plays with the form. There's a section in the middle that's in the form of a play, which takes you back to all the great Irish playwrights. I think she's really doing something really interesting here. And it got the most amazing New York Times review, which ended with, "The Alternatives is a bold, beautiful, complex novel, and I can't wait to read what Hughes writes next. She too, like her characters, is an unstoppable force." So I think that this is a sleeper on our summer list, just out.
I can't remember where something bubbled it up this weekend, and I was
that's great.
Why have I not seen this?
I wonder if it was that review, maybe.
Maybe I don't read the reviews though, so I don't know, because I saw it somewhere though.
Yeah. And
I was just like,
impeccable taste, so you already know it's going to be great. But
and I love Irish. Everything about Irish, right? Mainly my men though, but I'll go for a woman.
Try a woman, yeah, right.
I'll try it.
That's funny. You're right. The Irish men.
The men Irish, I have to say, the Irish men they do something for me. I don't know.
And I'm thinking about Bad Sisters and how much I love that.
I know. That comes to mind when reading this book.
Yeah, I love reading about sisters in Ireland.
Yeah, it's got a great cover. Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, Julia.
Okay, mine is kind of along the same lines as Tom, except it is actually a debut. This is a debut novel, A Letter to the Luminous Deep. It's a little bit fantasy novel, but it's enough. I don't know. I'm not a huge fantasy reader, so I have a hard time getting into the I don't know,
world building
when it's totally other worlds. It's just hard for me, and that is totally my problem. But this one was super easy to get into. It takes place in this sort of underwater world And these two people, this woman who lives in this underwater world and this scientist who is doing research on a certain topic, they start a letter correspondence to each other. So it is part an epistolary novel. And they the woman thinks that she's discovered something around her home and writes to this scientist, and they figure out that they did make this like pretty huge discovery. And then they go missing. And they have this lovely correspondence by letter before they go missing. And then it's up to their siblings to come in and figure out what has happened. So each of them has a sibling that comes in to figure out, where these two people went. This is an Indie Next pick for the spring. It is also an Indies Introduce pick. So it's getting a lot of love from our indie bookseller friends. It's got a gorgeous cover, as you can see,
got a great
but
cover.
it's really like, even if you're not a big fantasy fan, like, which like I said, I'm not, I did not have a hard time at all getting into the book. It was not, it wasn't like at 11 says I outed myself as someone who cannot read Lord of the Rings, because I don't understand what's happening ever.
Okay,
because
we
they
got
start
three.
saying
We got
words.
3 out of 6 right now.
Yeah, they start saying words, and then I'm like, I don't know what that is. So
Yeah.
I don't know where we are.
But you got to face in reality.
Yes, and as I said, that is my own fault and probably a lack of imagination. But this book is not like that at all.
No, I was trying to remember where I saw it. It was at the Indies Introduce at Winter Institute.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, that's coming out tomorrow. And I highly recommend it. Like I said, it's a delightful novel. It's a beautifully written novel. It's the first of a duology, so there will be a second one coming in the same world in 2025, I think. And yeah, there you go.
I love it. Shun the non-believer, Amanda says. She's killing me.
I know. Sorry, Amanda.
just what it is. Yeah, and I mean, the Indies Introduce thing is really something to pay attention to. I mean, the Indies really do a really good job. I was on that committee one time, and it's very thorough, and the things that bubble to the top really are something special. So pay attention to that. Okay, we might have to be quick in the lightning round because we were a little chatty. That's okay. So Liz, you want to start our lightning round? Oops, you're on mute.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so yeah, so you say lightning round and go fast, and now all I can do is go slow.
That's okay.
And in sharing my screen, I am going to talk about, well, Steve may have talked about this book before, but I really am moved by it, and it is Monsters by Claire Dederer.
Ooh.
And Claire just won Friday night at the LA Times Book Prizes, the Christopher Isherwood Prize. And this is she's a cultural critic. She started as a film critic. And this is a book about how we have to grapple with separating the art from the artist. And she starts with Roman Polanski and how much she, loves his films, and just goes on to talk about Picasso, to talk about Michael Jackson, to talk about Woody Allen, who she, like me, identified with so much, his films early on. And it's just like having this internal conversation, reading an internal conversation as you might have in your own head about what, how we grapple with this. So I just think it's brilliantly written. And I highly recommend it if you haven't picked it up. It's just a really important book.
I agree 1,000%, and congratulations to her on winning that award.
Yeah.
I want to let everybody know though that this cover is different from the
so different.
paperback cover. I mean, for the hardcover. So the hardcover was that famous picture of Picasso on the beach with the
head, the
The
bull
head.
head, or
the bull head on.
Yeah.
So just to not confuse anybody, that this is not new, but this is the paperback.
Right. But that cover probably confused people in terms of what is the book about.
Right. Right, where this
I
is a
like
little
the.
bit.
I kind of like the I love the hardcover too, but I like
Yeah.
the
I like the
redesigned
reissue too.
I
paperback.
like to read
I
it.
do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
read the Woody Allen essay
Wanna take
in
us off
Mayor's
share?
Review
Oh, yeah.
well before this book was like a thing, and I was blown away.
Yeah. She's
She's
so good. And
amazing.
it's,
She's amazing.
she has personal anecdotes.
Yeah.
She was, she lived in the Pacific Northwest. She may still live there. So it grew out of a Paris Review piece that went viral.
Oh, there it is. Oh, Tom, were you at the LA Times Festival this weekend?
Yes, I was. But it's a great looking paperback.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
don't have it yet. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, that
Anyway,
really-
that she's got a long career ahead of her. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
There hasn't been a person that's read it that I've talked to that hasn't just said, you have to read this.
yeah, it's really good.
Okay, Gabe.
I will be quick discussing one of our classics. So a couple years ago, we published When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, a paperback original. I'll move over because that's a mistype, which did very, very well. Paige Turner, she is an African-American author, and we broke her out into the mainstream. She's not niched. It is just a book that sold, I mean, Warwick sold like a ton. Everybody sold a ton of the first book, When No One Is Watching. So we're really excited to bring you the next one. In this particular book, we have a young woman, Kendall, who is she's had a breakdown a few years earlier. She's got dissociative identity disorder. So she's got like multiple personalities. And she takes on this job on a very deserted island, and runs as a professional historical preservationist is what she does. So she gets this job on this historic property on this island that's very isolated, and she runs into the person who ruined her life many, many years ago. And soon into the book, he ends up dead, and it's up to our protagonist Kendall to solve the problem along with her other disassociatives. So a little twist in the tale. It is something a little different. Again, very creative, very fast-paced, and a lot of fun. And I think she is just a really solid. She's known for like writing romances and things, and that's what she's done. And that book was kind of her first attempt at something really, really different. It was very, very successful. So we're really excited for the next book in this series. And
I love it.
She doesn't disappoint.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like, if she's been ready, it's like she's keeps getting, some people, their craft just keeps getting better and better.
It should,
Yep. Yeah. Okay, Andrea.
Okay, real quick, I want to talk about poems from Len Penny, whose name is poetic. This is from Canongate Books, one of our fine literary presses with offices in Edinburgh and London. And because it is National Poetry Month, I want to have one on each of these sessions, one poetry book. She became known to the world during the lockdown period in 2020 when she went on Instagram and did a Scots Word of the Week, and then started reciting poetry. Many of those poems and the words went viral. It didn't hurt that she's easy on the eyes, young Len, but she's got something. She's got it. She's got it. And this is a nice little volume of poems. Beautiful package. And it's 50-50 Scots language and English poetry, and has received acclaim from a wide array of luminaries, including Neil Gaiman, Michael Sheen, Nigella Lawson. So pretty cool. And
That's a wide range of people.
yes, she's the real deal.
I love it. Yeah, again, always good to recommend a good book of poetry.
Poems.
Poems. All right, Tom.
All right. My last book is Ascent to Power: How Truman Emerged from Roosevelt's Shadow and Remade the World. So there's always readers for a new book about from Roosevelt to Truman. So we've learned not to take transitions of power for granted in recent years. But we have, Julie, we have. But this takes us back to one of the rockiest transitions, because on April 12th, 1945, Roosevelt died. Truman was only vice president for 82 days, and he had barely met with FDR. He knew nothing really about what was going on. So it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Yeah.
So this uses a lot of new archival material about Truman. How he got through that time in order to become one of the more consequential presidents, of the century.
Well, yeah.
So it's a really interesting reminder, because I had forgotten how difficult that, like how little ill prepared he was, and that it was really FDR's fault. People knew, the staff around FDR knew that he was in bad health, but none of them took the time to prepare the vice president for what came so quickly. So perfect for Father's Day, Ascent to Power.
No,
And we've published David Rohl before. He's just a very good, especially that period of mid-century, did a book about Marshall. So very good historian of that, for that time period.
fantastic. All right, Julia, take us home.
Okay, I'm gonna lead you all into dinner time. With
No, cookbook.
Stuzzichini. This is pronounced Stuzzichini, so you all know now how to pronounce it. The Art of the Italian Snack. My Italian mother just calls them nibbles, but they are actually Stuzzichini. So I'll show you these pictures, but I absolutely love this cookbook. I think it was last week or the week before, maybe I talked about the pinchos.
Yes.
And I think that this one goes kind of hand in hand with these sort of small plates, great for like spicing up a charcuterie board with a little bit of something extra. But these are these great things that these great little, I don't even want to call them appetizers, because they're really not. They just kind of go out on the table when you're maybe having a cocktail, and hello, there's some cocktail recipes. And then you can nibble at them as dinner is being prepared. I have a copy of it right here, and you can see just how gorgeous this is. It talks about different parts of Italy. It talks about sort of, where these different things like snacks come from. It's a delight of a book, and one that is really fun to sort of, spice up a dinner party, or just if people are over to just hang out for a bit.
Or back in the old days when we used to do the happy hours on our driveway when the children were outside playing.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
You got to work it wherever and whenever.
Wherever you can. And we used to just like everybody meet on the driveway. Somebody bring food.
We got to start doing that again. Why don't we?
I know. Those were so
Why not?
fun. It's just like moms are just like,
Yeah.
where are the kids? Where'd they go?
I mean, they used to have a whole advertisement asking if they knew where their kids were. So, it was
We were
different times. Yeah.
Guilty as charged. Okay, so last week, I know we talked about at the beginning the great award that Warwick's won, which was great, but we had a stellar event week last week. Let me just tell you, and a lot of you are all represented at this. I mean, we had Anne Lamott, we had Amor Tolls, we had Michelle Gable, we had Ronda Rousey. It was amazing, but what was really fun was seeing people that watch this come up. I mean, I can't tell you how many people came up to me at the different events. And Robbie, if you're watching, hi Robbie. She was at the store. I think it was on the Ronda Rousey day. It was fun seeing everybody. So thanks for watching. I do have to get off though. I got a new sign, and I've been sitting here wondering what's been poisoning me, and I'm smelling like plastic. It's like I've got this taste going on. So I have to go. I think I have to go.
Get out,
Go open
get
the
out of that
window.
room, Jewel.
a
I
fresh
gotta
air.
go open the window.
No.
Like pretty soon you're gonna see me just
Gonna keel over.
keel over. Like this is not good. All right, everybody. Great books. Darcy, you've got a great list. I saw your list in the chat. You got a great list going on. So have a great week, everybody. You guys, thanks for coming in. Always appreciate all of your stuff. And again, Andrew, congratulations, and congratulations to Patricia.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Congrats to
Congrats.
Warwick.
Yep. All right, Amanda, take us out.